Today on the DML News Podcast, we have so much to talk about. Government shutdown. They're going to be taxing white people. And of course, the Pope has crazy things to say. We have so many things on the show today, and it's going to be all unfiltered.
Dennis Michael Lynch gives you his word, and he will never let you down. He will always fight for America.
The only one who really puts his money where his mouth is Dennis Michael Lynch.
It's Michael Lynch, and I thank you for joining me today. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, start it off right away with a share. If you could hit the share button, hit the like button, and then say a little comment that says, hey, DML. Those things will help the algorithm share everything across the land of Facebook. We're also live today on Rumble, and we're live today on Team DML. And as I've explained to you, Ryan and I and the whole family, we are jet set determined to be the dominant force in what I consider to be the post-Charlie Kirk movement. Charlie may not be with us physically, but he is with us spiritually. He's here, and he's got everybody fired up out there doing the best they can to get the message out, and we are part of that campaign. We are going to do the best we possibly can. Little announcement here. Next week, one more time, will be Monday and Thursday for this program, and then the following week, we will go to 3 days a week. We're not sure what days yet, so stay tuned. We'll tell you that next week. Also, before we dive in here to a very, very interesting show, I want to say on behalf of Ryan and myself to my son, Denny. Denny turns 30 years old today. I can't believe 30 years ago, my wife gave birth to Denny. It was a wild birth. We got to talk about that maybe one of these days. And wow, was it a wild birth. And he came out, and it was simply one of the greatest moments of my life. So happy birthday, Denny. And also just a quick reminder, we announced that we have a buy one, get one free at DML CBD, still in play. It has been wildly successful. If you have not started with DML CBD, at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you why you need to. If you're already an existing customer and you already know the benefits, you know how it runs. Once the product runs out, the BOGO is over. So dmlcbd.com/BOGO. Every single product on the website, buy one, get one free. Okay, folks, so we are in the second day here of a government shutdown. And the Democrats may not realize it just yet, but they have backed themselves into a corner, and Donald Trump is going to absolutely keep them there. Let me give you a couple things that I wrote down here that I think you're going to be interested to know. First of all, part of this whole shutdown thing has been sparking conversation about how many times does this actually happen, because they're trying to make it sound like this is Trump's issue and that he's the only president that ever did this. This is the 15th government shutdown since 1981. So let's get that down as a official stat, okay? 15th, not the first, not the second. This is the 15th time since 1981. We've had shutdowns before with Democrats in office, and we've had them obviously with Republicans in office. Now, there will be 750,000 government employees who will be furloughed. And, of course, the military and the Border Patrol will be working without any sort of payment, but they will get their back pay when this stuff ends. Now, with that said, what the left is trying to say is that Trump is using this shutdown, that is, it is driven by him to push his political agenda and to target his political enemies. Reuters, the liberal Reuters, just listened to a video prior to the beginning of the show here, and they say that this was designed by Trump so this way he can keep back $26 billion from Democrat states, give them pain, and specifically New York, where Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House, and Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, are both from New York. It holds up an $18 billion transit funding for New York. So the left is trying to make this sound as if this is Trump's plan all along to shut down the government and make it smaller, get rid of things that we don't need. This is a false narrative, and we're going to get to that, and I'm going to explain that to you. It is happening by chance to fall right into Trump's plan. But Trump, if tomorrow the Democrats would say we're not going to fund illegal aliens, if they were to agree to a CR, continuing resolution, which basically just says we're not going to change anything as it's been. It's not adding things new. It's not any trickery. The Democrats approved the same CR 13 times under Joe Biden. And they just did it a couple months ago. So what's changed? What's changed is Donald J. Trump is doing a phenomenal job. JD Vance is coming across as the greatest vice president of all time. Democrats just watch, and I mean Democrat voters, just watched people go online and celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk, and people are moving over. They're saying, wait, between the vile behavior of Jimmy Kimmel and all the left, all these TikTok videos I'm seeing, all the horrors that I hear AOC and Ilhan Omar saying about Charlie Kirk, I'm not part of that. I'm hanging up my Democrat cleats and I'm going over to the red team. So the Democrats see that Trump and JD Vance are on fire in a good way. They're seeing they're losing people. And so the demented brain of the Democrat, and that's what they are, they're demented brains, that they're not playing with all 52 cards in the deck. They've come up with the strategy of saying, you know what? We can't be heard. Trump sucks all the oxygen out of the room. He always dominates the headlines. We can never get a word in. Nobody's listening to us. The best way for us to be heard is if we shut down the government. Now they've got to listen to us. And believe me when I tell you, people are listening and they're seeing how nutty and how anti-American the Democrats are. Now, I'm going to read to you two tweets from the President of the United States. You can see it here. It's on the big board. He writes, I have a meeting today with Russ Vought. He is basically Project 2025 guy. Or if you remember Project 2025, this is what the Democrats were running on. Kamala was saying 2025 project. Trump was the architect of this, and it was all these bad things. Okay. Russ Vought was the guy who basically was the man on this. So he says, I have a meeting with Russ today. He is of Project 25 fame to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam, he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to, quietly and quickly, make America great again. Now, let me tell you what that is. That is an unbelievably great troll. It gets under the Democrats' skin, which Trump does better than any other person ever, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But think about what that, see, because the Democrats hated 2025 project. They hated it, about closing down the Department of Education and all the other different things. They wanted to get rid of so many different departments. And now what Trump is saying is, you have forced me now to have a meeting with this guy. You've put me in connection with the 2020-25 project. Shame on you, you silly little boys and girls, unless, of course, this is really what you wanted. Now, Trump makes a major mistake in his tweet saying that the Democrats are smart people. They're not smart people. They're not. They're cunning. There's a difference between smart and cunning. They're cunning and they are deranged. But I guess Trump can't write that. Not in that tweet anyway. The next one he puts up is, the Democrats want to give your health care money to illegal aliens and open our borders to the criminals of the world. A deadly combination because everybody will come. And that's right. We've seen this already. We've watched this movie play out, and it ain't going to happen underneath the Trump presidency. It's just not going to happen. Trump is not going to bend here. I can tell you that right now. And he is going to have the widespread support of the majority of Americans. He is. Because as much as this shutdown leads the Democrats to believe that they're being listened to, it works in both ways. The Republicans are being listened to right now, hugely. And there is nobody who's getting a bigger microphone at this very moment than JD Vance. JD Vance is not only, JD Vance, you want to talk about smart people, JD Vance is at the top of the heap. Not only is JD Vance showing an incredible amount of support for Donald J. Trump. I mean, what a great wingman, what a great Robin and a Batman and Robin duo. But simultaneously, he is showing that he is not only highly articulate and knowledgeable about everything that's going on with the federal government and Make America Great Again, but he is showing that although he is young, he is learning from the master, and he is well positioned to be the torch bearer in 2028. And you will see later here in the show, Gavin Newsom knows this. Gavin Newsom knows this something terrible. For 90 seconds here, I'm going to let JD Vance explain to you in his words, in part, why it is that this shutdown is happening. Play it, video 1.
This is a Democrat talking point. They say we're not actually trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens, and here's why it's not true. There are 2 Biden-era programs that explicitly gave the taxpayer health care money to illegal aliens that we turned off when President Trump took over in January. Program number 1 is there's a lot of emergency health care at hospitals that are provided to illegal aliens. That was funded by the federal government. We turned off that funding because, of course, we want American citizens to benefit from those hospital services, not to be taxed and then to have those hospital services go to illegal aliens. The second of which is the Biden administration gave mass parole to millions upon millions of illegal aliens, and then they simultaneously made those parolees eligible for health care benefits funded by taxpayers. In the One Big Beautiful Bill, President Trump and congressional Republicans turned off that money to health care funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats want to turn it back on. And in their initial proposal, the first thing that they put out to reopen the government, they actually turned that money for health care benefits for illegal aliens back on. So it's not something that we made up. It's not a talking point. It is in the text of the bill that they initially gave to us to reopen the government. It's preposterous for them to run away from it now. But look, let's set that all to the side. Let's open up the government. Let's negotiate on all of these healthcare policy issues. Obviously, we're not going to support healthcare benefits for illegal aliens, but we will work with them to lower healthcare costs for American citizens if they're willing to do so.
I want to add to this now. I'm going to read to you a very, very interesting tweet that JD Vance retweeted and then responded to. I'm just going to blend it into one. Okay? It's on my Facebook page. You may have seen it. We just posted it a couple minutes ago because this was a morning tweet. I labeled it Funding Illegal Alien Healthcare Explained. Here is how it works. Federal dollars go to a Democrat state for healthcare. And since money is fungible, they then move state dollars over to fund illegals, which is made possible by federal dollars filling the gap where state dollars should be going. So functionally, federal dollars make funding healthcare for illegals possible. On top of that, a lot of this money funds the infrastructure that is then used to provide healthcare benefits to illegals. Now, this is what JD wrote. On top of that, any illegals committing fraud that has gone undetected could qualify for coverage. And how hard are liberal states looking at that problem? Not much at all. This is important. Money is fungible, and it's why the Democrat and media lie that healthcare is not going to illegals is so preposterous. It is a preposterous lie. Consider, for instance, 2 state Medicaid programs, Ohio and New York. New York gives Medicaid to illegals, and Ohio doesn't. When the government gives billions of dollars to New York for Medicaid, that frees up state money in New York that can then be spent on illegals. It's like if you give a mobster $100, but he promises that he will not spend the money to buy a gun and commit a crime. Well, what does he do? He takes the $100 you give him and buys some food, and then takes the money he would have spent on all the food and uses that money to buy the gun instead. This is what money is fungible means. Additionally, because medical services are limited in supply, when an illegal accesses health care, it drives up the cost for everyone. We talk about this on the show all the time. So New Yorkers are paying a higher price for medical services, and the federal government is subsidizing those higher prices. So everyone in the media, from George Stephanopoulos to Jake Tapper, repeating these Democrat talking points is engaging in the Democrat propaganda war. Democrats shut down the government to give health care money to illegal aliens. It's really that simple. There's your explanation. If you need to explain to anybody what is really happening, not only will we have this video clip from this part of the program separate later, but you can just play this part or listen to it over and over again or read that tweet or it's on my Facebook page. You can go to my Facebook page right underneath this video and you can see and you just share that. And that explains everything. Now, with that said, we're going to do a little bit of an investigative reporting here. We're going to use the Democrats' words against them. Ryan worked diligently last night to put together a lot of clips for you today. We have a lot of clips. The first one we're going to put together here is of Representative Rosa DeLauro out of Connecticut. This is the person who's got the weird blue hair. You know who I'm talking about. Listen to what she says in her first 24 seconds on the floor about how many pages of the CR are actually assigned to healthcare. Play.
To this bill, it really is a fallacy. That is the fallacy, because 67 pages of the 91 in this continuing resolution deal with health care extensions one way or another, whether they're for veterans, whether they're for others. That is what's in there. So it's absolutely germane.
Okay. Now you can make an argument of saying, all right, she's making an argument saying, hey, healthcare is the number one topic on the table. And that's what the Republicans have been saying. They're just looking at it from two different ways. The Republicans are saying, hey, listen, we want to lower prices for Americans. Look what Trump just did yesterday or the day before, signed a deal with Pfizer. So this way now Pfizer will promise to give you and me the pricing that it gives to other nations. There are other nations outside the United States that are paying, in some cases, 1,000% less for healthcare than for medicines than you are and I am. So don't tell me that Trump wants to raise prices on American citizens. That is just a fallacy. Now, let's go to Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters basically said, without saying it, sometimes omission is admission. Here is Representative Maxine Waters being confronted by a reporter about why is it that you're giving health care to illegal aliens? Why are you fighting for this? Play.
Do Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, American
Excuse
employees are going to
me,
be furloughed.
stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open, and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
See, she won't say that they're giving it to illegal aliens. She just says for everybody. Words have meaning. They have lots of meaning. And so what they won't do is they won't say it to you. Instead, they're going to lie to you by telling you the truth, right? Think about that. I'm not going to say that I'm giving illegal aliens health care and that I'm fighting for that. No, I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to instead say that we want health care for everybody. I'm not going to say illegal aliens. I'm going to leave you, the Republican, you, the common sense person, to interpret my words. This is what we're dealing with. This is why nobody can stand Democrats. Nobody. It's why they're losing, and they're losing hugely. Now, there's another gentleman. His name is Ro Khanna. Yep, that should say everything to you right there. This guy was just at ArabCon. We talked about ArabCon on Monday. It was a weekend event where Arabs who are here in the United States basically get up and hate on Israel and hate on the United States, and he was there. And he actually poked fun at Islamic terrorists in the sense that poking fun at us, poking fun at people like me. He started off by asking the crowd, so how many people in here are actually supportive of Islamic terrorists? That's not funny, idiot. I watched my fellow Americans jump from 80 stories high. 3,000 people died. You're going to laugh about that, you piece of you-know-what? This guy, because he's not a very smart human being, gets on television to try to say this has nothing to do with illegal aliens. We're not funding illegal aliens. And in doing so says we're funding illegal aliens. Go.
In terms of health care, the reality is they're just not being honest. The amount of money that actually is going towards people who are undocumented is such a small portion of the Medicaid cuts or the Affordable Care Act, if at all. And so we can argue that point, but the reality that even the vice president would acknowledge, that anyone who looks at the numbers will acknowledge, is 90 to 95% of the funding we're talking about is talking about funding for American citizens.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Ro. It's only a small amount of money. Wait a second. 2 minutes ago, it was for nobody. We've been listening to the media and Chuck Schumer and everybody else saying that this is a total lie. They're lying. We're not funding illegal aliens. And JD Vance and yours truly just explained to you how it is happening. Don't tell me that the illegal aliens are not being supported by the Democrats. It's just such a, it's beyond rude. It's insulting. For those of you watching, right, look over my right shoulder here on the big screen. You will see a New York State commercial driver's license. All right. For those of you who are listening audio only, imagine an official driver's license issued from the state of New York, only this is a commercial driver's license. During the week, Oklahoma, which is a red state, Oklahoma works with ICE to try to crack down on illegal aliens driving these huge tractor trailers after we've seen so many accidents and deaths at the hands of these people who should not be given a license at all. They can't read, they can't speak English. They shouldn't even be in the country, but they're getting CDL licenses, commercial driver license. They wound up pulling over, I think it was over 500 trucks, of which 120 were illegal aliens. And of the 120 that were illegal aliens, a good majority of them had New York State commercial driver's licenses that were not only expired, and in some cases expired for 10 years or more, but the license is issued to no name given. It says it right on it. No name given. And so when the New York State DMV was contacted about this, they said, we're just carrying out the rules on the books. So you could be an illegal alien and get a CDL license, an 18-wheeler. I mean, look, you get into an accident with a small little school bus, and you're going to have some pretty decent impact. You get into a accident with a big school bus, there's going to be some damage. You get into an accident with an 18-wheeler Big Mac truck, you're done. If you're surviving that, you're an anomaly. So don't tell me that the Democrats aren't supportive of illegal aliens and all the things that they need and want in order to live here in the United States comfortably. They will give them health care. They will give them free housing. You saw that in New York City. You saw that all over the country. They will give them driver's licenses and not make them put their name on the driver's license. This is beyond preposterous. This is insanity. This is the Democrat insane mindset which Trump and JD Vance and the Republican and conservative movement is trying to absolutely end. And the great thing about it is that the Democrats are doing the job for us. Thank you very much. Now, here's the nuttier, crazier part. The nuttier, crazier part. When you look at this specific topic, if I were to take the State of the Union, I can't remember which one it was, but if I took the State of the Union from Bill Clinton back in the 1990s and I played that for you, you would think it was an AI video that I took Trump's speech and put it into Clinton's mouth. But it's not. Back in the 1990s, when Clinton was the president, the Democrats were absolutely anti-illegal immigration. 100%. Even in the early 2000s, because in the early 2000s, George Bush was opening up the fences, the gates for everybody. We had such mass illegal immigration into this country under the Bush presidency that even Nancy Pelosi in 2005 was pissed off about it. We got the video for proof. Play it.
Broken borders. That's an oxymoron, something we can't tolerate. Borders, of their nature, our definition as a nation and our protection as a country. Broken borders, they don't exist. We can't tolerate them. So let's say from the start that we all in this body, and I know I can speak very firmly for the Democrats, support strong border control, and it must be part, and the first part, of any comprehensive immigration reform.
I mean, that doesn't sound like Nancy Pelosi. You would think that was Nancy Mace. You would think that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's Nancy Pelosi. We've got videos of Hillary Clinton saying the same thing. So what happened? Where did those people go? Because now they're completely on the other side of the spectrum. What happened was a man named Barack Obama. Barack Obama said we need to open the borders to fundamentally transform the United States. And because he was the leader and he was the king, they all changed their position. And they've been so far in, they can't get out. And that's what it is. And the Democrats recognize at this point that without the illegal aliens and the births of illegal alien children, they will never have a voter bloc. Democrats are losing people, especially people that look like me. They are losing people by the tens of thousands each and every day. Make no mistake, this is the Schumer shutdown. This is the Schumer shutdown. This is not Donald J. Trump. If you have somebody in your family, if you have somebody in your neighborhood, and they are going to suffer a hardship because of the government shutdown, and they are confused, or they say this is Trump, because Trump has all three branches. He's got the White House, he's got the House, and he's got the Senate. They do not understand how it works. We need 60 people in the Senate in order to get through a CR or to get through some kind of budget. And we can't do it because they will not vote with Trump. Schumer will not allow it to happen. This is a Democrat issue. Now, if it couldn't get more embarrassing for Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, look and listen to this CNN interview. For those of you who are just on audio only, you're going to be confused. So I'm going to set this up. The guy on CNN is asking Chuck Schumer if this is his shutdown. And Chuck Schumer plays off as if he can't hear. Play it.
Every Republican who's gone on TV the last 12 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you say about that name? Senator Schumer, can you hear me?
I can't hear.
Senator Schumer, can you hear me? I don't think Senator Schumer can hear me right now. Maybe the government shutdown included audio on Capitol Hill.
It's amazing how he was able to hear everything before and after that part of the interview. But let's even just assume that he couldn't hear him. That video right there, as far as I'm concerned, is representative of what it is that the Democrat Party and its media friends were all about. They have no fluidity. They have no mojo. You know who has mojo? Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is owning the Democrats right now. He is in their head. He is driving them crazy. And he is doing it in the most hysterical means. He is putting out memes. He's putting out AI videos that are simply hysterical. If you don't laugh at these videos, you don't have a funny bone. You may not even have a pulse. It started off with him Trump taking Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and making them into caricatures. And the Hakeem Jeffries character was that of what looked like a Mexican man with the big, huge handlebar style mustache and a sombrero. It was hysterical. And the people on the left were outraged. Here's the follow-up video that Trump published. It's hysterical. Play it.
It's a disgusting video, and we're going to continue to make clear bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Listen, I've heard and saw that video 5 million times, and I laugh the same amount every single time. It is just simply brilliant. Trump now in the pressing room of the White House has these videos running nonstop. So during the press conferences, when the press is all in there, these things are running. He is brilliant. He understands how not only to get into their head, but to make the Democrats look like absolute idiots to their own team. It is literally the most brilliant way of going about it. You know, these Democrats are all getting up there, the big tough guy act. Trump just sits there and fights with a smile. Trump never throws a punch. He throws out humor and he just melts these people. There is no better example of what I'm talking about with, you know, the Democrats getting up there and talking tough and Trump just laughs his ass off than Hakeem Jeffries. Here's what Hakeem Jeffries said on the steps of Congress, calling out the president. Play it.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Now, first of all, Trump has answered to that by putting out more memes, okay? And secondly, Hakeem Jeffries here has given himself, whether he recognized it or not, he has given himself a nickname that's never going to go away. He's the dollar store Obama, which means he's the cheap version of Obama. He's the wannabe. It is hysterical. So the Democrats can't figure out how to top Trump. And there is no better example of this than Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is going to run for president in 2028. He is the only hope that the Democrats have. And think about how bad that is. First of all, hope is never a plan. Okay? This guy is such a liar and he's such a manipulator that he will look you right in the face and tell you that he's not allowing illegal aliens to run his state. He will look you right in the face and tell you that he's done everything he can to prevent forest fires. He will look you right in the face and say he did not clean up the streets of the homeless people for Xi Jinping. He will freaking lie to you and just right in the face. Do not forget, this is the same guy who had an affair with his buddy's wife, his buddy who was helping him run his campaign. This guy is a scumbag. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to fight fire with fire against Trump. This is insane. This is like you or me going up and saying to Mike Tyson, if you're going to throw a mean punch, I'm going to throw a mean punch. If you're going to throw a jab, I'm going to throw a jab. You are going to lose that fight every time. So Gavin Newsom now has tried to change in becoming the Democrats' version of Trump. It is not going to happen. In sports, is a great in sports. Let's just use baseball, right? We got baseball playoffs right now. You can teach a kid how to throw a curveball, but you can't teach speed. You can either throw a hard fastball or you can't. You can't take a kid who could throw a ball 70 miles an hour and teach him how to throw it 100. You can't do it. You just can't do it. You understand? You either have it or you don't. Same thing comes with humor and sarcasm. You can try to practice it all you want. You either have it like Trump has it or you don't. Gavin Newsom, in an attempt to push back on Trump, to use fire with fire, makes a meme about JD Vance. And this thing just misses so terribly. When you watch this, I want you to compare the sombrero of Hakeem Jeffries to this, whatever this is, of JD Vance. Play it, Ryan.
If you're flying today, I hope, of course, you arrive safely and on time, but you may not arrive on time because the TSA and the air traffic controllers are not getting paid today. Our military is not getting paid today, starting today. And obviously, the longer this drags on, the worse that it is for the American people.
I'm sorry, it's not even funny. There's nothing funny about it. It's not even creative. There's so many other different things you could have came up with. It's not even creative. And note how it is that Gavin Newsom is not picking on Trump in this particular case. He's picking on JD Vance. And the reason why he's picking on JD Vance is because he already knows in advance that he's going to try to run for president. And if he does, he's going to be up against JD Vance. JD Vance is going to wipe the floor with Gavin Newsom. Going to wipe the floor with him. But, you know, I take you back to Hakeem Jeffries and Trump. The amazing thing about Trump is that he can beat the living crap out of you and then give you a kiss. He can verbally shred you and then tell you that you're the best thing in the world. Trump invites Schumer and Jeffries into the Oval Office to try to get a deal done. He gets nowhere, but he takes a Trump 2028 hat and hands it to Jeffries and hands it to Schumer like he's handing him out a souvenir for being in the White House. It is hysterical. He owns these people. He owns them. Now, where is this all going to go? Where is it all going to go? I can tell you one thing it will definitely do. It's going to help drive down interest rates, which is going to be great. Do I think the government's going to stay shut down for a while? I do. And here's why. It's not going to reopen until one side realizes that they are actually holding the blame. The lefties, the media, like CNN, Jake Tapper, all these other, even Reuters. I told you about at the beginning of the show about how Reuters, they have a video out today saying that Trump is doing all this so he can punish his political opponents, which is just nuts. This was the Democrats. They could have agreed to the CR, like I said, that they have 14 times in a row, once under Trump, 13 times under Biden, have agreed to. There was nothing changed in that CR. But the Democrats think that doing this will slow the momentum of the Republican Party, and they are grossly wrong. They are highly misinformed, and they are going to pay a deep price. And they're going to have to come up with some sort of cockamamie, we have to do this for the little guy. We're going to bow this time, but we're going to fight even harder next time. We're going to get him in the midterms. When you guys vote blue, we'll stop this regime. That's what they're going to do. I don't think the Democrats let this go too deep into the holiday season, because when you do that, when people want to go buy Christmas gifts, they want to do holiday travel, and they can't, they're inconvenienced. That's when it is the Democrats are going to realize that Trump is going to pin this on them, and it's going to stick. And what may actually happen out of this whole thing, and then we're going to shift gears here. What could actually happen out of this whole thing is twofold. Number one, Trump is going to be able to actually get rid of a lot of people that the courts were giving him a hard time about, which is great. We're going to downsize the government. And number two is Trump will come out of this looking heroic. He will look heroic. I don't know how he's going to do it yet. It's going to come to him in the middle of the night. And when it happens, it's going to be a sign of absolute brilliance. The Democrats right now are almost at checkmate. It's really where it comes down to. Now, changing gears, but still staying in the same lane, if you will. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm actually a Catholic. And, I struggle with that in the sense that I have not had an appreciation for a pope in a very long time. And our new pope is no exception. I mean, we keep on getting these radicals. And the Pope said something yesterday that actually got me angry, really got me angry. And I'm not going to sit here and talk evil about the Pope. It's not what I do. But I will tell you that I disagree with the Pope. And what he said yesterday, I think, was basically I could label it as disgusting. Ryan, play the video of the Pope.
It's important to look at many issues that are related to what is the teaching of the church. Someone who says I'm against abortion but says I'm in favor of the death penalty is not really pro-life. So someone who says that I'm against abortion but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. So they're very complex issues. I don't know if anyone has all the truth on them. But I would ask first and foremost that there be greater respect for one another and that we search together both as human beings, in that case as American citizens or citizens of the state of Illinois, as well as Catholics, to say we need to really look closely at all of these ethical issues and to find the way forward as church. Church teaching on each one of those issues is very clear.
So here's the problem I have. Obviously, the Pope is pro-life, as am I. But for the Pope to compare abortion to Americans not wanting illegal aliens is insanity. This is what I'm saying. I don't care if you're the Pope, the governor, a host on CNN, or a school teacher. If you are a Democrat, if you are a liberal, you are not playing with 52 cards in the deck. How can anyone make a comparison between aborting a fetus, aborting a baby that is ready to come out in the world, and deporting illegal aliens who broke the law? It's not even a comparison. It's as stupid as ripping an apple away from your kid and saying, don't eat that, eat this, and giving them a bag of Doritos. It's like, what did you just do? What did you just say? This is one of the reasons why the Catholic Church has such a hard time retaining people. It's a reason why we have such a hard time spreading the word of God through the church. I am so turned off by that. I don't want to give any money to the church and fund that. It's why we're losing that game. It's why we're losing. And you know who we're losing to? And this is a continuation of Monday's show. We're losing to Islam. If you don't think we're losing to Islam, long term, the way things are going right now, you're confused. And finally, I see this conversation finally getting the spotlight it needs. And I think a large part of that, unfortunately, is through Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk was starting to get on the anti-Islam bandwagon. Now, I want to repeat what I've said in the past. If you are of the Muslim faith and that is what tickles your fancy, have at it. If you want to pray 5 times a day, you want to throw your prayer rug in the middle of the street or in the middle of the mall, and you want to do that, have at it. But in Bangladesh, in Iraq, in Syria, in Iran, in Egypt, in Algeria, do not try to force that upon me. Do not try to force that upon the United States of America. But they are. And we're allowing it to happen. I'm going to play a video here for a second. Because we just talked about newborns. This appears to be, this video, a Muslim father. For those people on audio only. Imagine a little baby just comes out. He's in the little incubator. And the father rolls up a piece of paper like a large, it looks like a large straw. Like if you were to do a megaphone, you know, like trying to get it out. Puts that piece of paper, the other side of the piece of paper, to the baby's ear and starts giving it Muslim prayer, making the baby cry. Play it, Ryan.
صلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
Now, if that's not sick, I don't know what is. I want to explain a little bit more about what I have spoke to you about in the past. And I did a video on this the other day. You know, every day on Facebook here, I have a morning video, except for on days when I have the show. There's no morning video today. And I did this the other day, and I'm going to extrapolate on it right now. I want you to understand what is happening in our cities. Let's use New York City for a great example. In fact, Ryan, you know what? Let's change the order. We had the Georgia governor. Let's do Mandami. We're going to play a video right now. I want you to listen to what the front runner for the mayor of New York City, Mandami, he's going to win. Listen to the way he positions on taxing people and the people he's going to tax. Play it.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
So no plans to change that language on your website.
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system, and that the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighbor.
So he's going to go after the whiter neighborhoods, and then when he's called out on it, he backsteps. There's no backstepping, okay? There's no backstepping. If I say to you, well, as mayor, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to send in more police to the black neighborhoods. That's me basically telling you that I think blacks carry out the crimes. If I try to peddle that into something else, I'm going to look like I'm a liar. And this guy is a Muslim socialist liar. Let me explain how this is going to work and what the plan is, because this is very, very important for you to understand. Nobody ever talks about this. You're getting it here and here only. It goes like this. Let's look at Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan now has become a majority Muslim stronghold. On Monday, we played the video of the white woman who goes to the city council and says, hey, it's becoming impossible for us to sleep. It's becoming impossible for us to live. You are playing Muslim prayers on the loudspeaker 5 times a day, starting at 5:30 a.m. You're breaking the ordinance. You can't do this at 5:30 a.m. And here's the thing. What they do is they basically tell that lady, okay, well, we'll look into it. And it continues to happen. Think about this for a second. Prayer on a loudspeaker. I don't know about you. I know I pray pretty much about twice a day at minimum. Once in the morning, once before I go to bed. What I don't do is I don't go outside of my driveway, or I don't go outside my backyard and I take a megaphone and I just start doing the Our Father on that. I don't. I pray in private, or if I'm going to pray in church, we pray in church and we're in a 4-wall environment. What they're doing here is they're spraying the sound across the city. And so now people who don't practice Islam are subjected to this 5 times a day at 5:30 in the morning. So inevitably, what happens? What happens in Dearborn? People said, I've lived here for 30 years. I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving. And so what happens is they infuse everything about Muslim and Islam into the community, from the schools to the hospital to the police department to the prayers, you name it. Even the stores. Remember when I went through Dearborn, the stores didn't look like something that I would want to go in and eat at. I couldn't even read the signs. They were all in Arabic. And so eventually what happens is that you and I move out. We abandon our home. We abandon our city or our town. And therefore it becomes a Muslim stronghold. That is what is happening now on a much greater level. What Mandami is going to do is he is going to make the city so unbearable for anybody who is not Muslim that they will have no choice but to leave. I talked to you about it on Monday, on Monday's show. I told you my buddy, Jeff Nelson, ex-New York Yankee pitcher, 4 World Series rings, was thinking about running for mayor, ultimately decided not to back in January. Wish he had. Said to me, he's going to win. We're moving out of the city. My friend who lives here is one of the top realtors, just called and said, by the way, if you want to sell your home, it's going to be coming up soon. I said, why is that? People from New York City right now are calling in droves, coming here on weekends to look at properties. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. I just had a buddy of mine ask me, would you have a problem showing somebody around in the neighborhood? I said, yeah, I would. I don't know who the hell they are, but at the end of the day, they're coming. They're leaving. So think about what the plan is. You go after, like Mandami says, I'm going to tax the white people. I'm going to tax the white people. I'm going to treat the white people like they're slime. And so what happens is that you leave. You leave. Then what happens is the second part. The value of the real estate, be it through rental or be it through purchase, drives itself so low because there's no demand. There's a lot of supply. Big businesses are leaving. He wants to tax big businesses. Businesses in New York get taxed 7.25%. He wants to raise it to over 11%. So he's going to force out businesses. He's going to force out white people. He's going to just make it so this way the city nosedives, thus making it very affordable for the low-income Muslim or no-income Muslim who's coming in by the droves, 50 to 100,000 per year legally into the United States. And then what happens is that when everybody leaves the cities, they go for the suburbs or they go for red states, these major metropolitans become like Dearborn. That is the strategy. The strategy is take over the United States from within. And where you start, education, media, public office, and eventually what you do is you push everybody else out and then you own New York. Think about this for a second. We are about to see New York change in such a way that it reflects what you see in London. That's the strategy. And I have been following this for 20 years, and I can tell you this is the worst I've ever seen it. Their plan is starting to metastasize. We're going to play Ilhan Omar right now. We're going to skip the governor for a second, Ryan. Ilhan Omar, listen to what she says about white America. Play it.
And so the idea that this is a white nation that needs to be preserved is a fascinatingly disgusting view, because this country is one for the many.
What does that mean? What does that mean? I can tell you what it means. You have to read the words. If I say to you, as I am saying right now, I don't want more Ilhan Omars, what she does is that she spins that as you and I don't want people of color. And that's not what I'm saying. What we're saying is we don't want more migrants and immigrants from the Middle East who are going to come here and say things like we're going to tax the white people. Yeah, there was a majority. This country was majority white, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And you're not going to apologize for it, assuming you're white. And I'm very proud of being white. There's nothing wrong. At the end of the day, I'm a good human being, first and foremost. I am a good Christian, Catholic, first and foremost. If you want to say he's a good white guy, that's up to you. That's up to you. But I am not going to apologize, and I am not going to retreat because I'm white, I'm male, and I'm Christian. Just not going to do it. And at the same time I'm not going to bend over, close my eyes, and pretend as if I'm not being taken over by people from the Middle East who are practicing Islam, which is completely the opposite of Christianity. There's no similarities at all. I don't want to hear that it's got a lot of similarities and this and that. There's things that baloney. There's nothing even close. I read from the Quran or portions of the Quran on Monday about women. Don't start with me and getting out that book again. All right? You know, I have 3 dogs. We've got 3 dogs. My dog, my dog is just like my best friend. I love my dog. Islam, you can't have a dog. They're disgusting animals. They're disgusting animals. People use dogs for support. People who are blind use dogs so they can walk. People who are lonely have dogs as companions. In Islam, they're disgusting. You're going to tell me there's similarities? There's no assimilation. It's trying to put together oil and water. Now, it just so happens that the majority of people who are in the Middle East aren't white-skinned. That's not my problem. I didn't create that. If you told me that you were going to send me 100,000 white radical Islamics, I tell you, I don't want any of them. If you told me that in the middle of my street, I was going to have 15 blonde bikini Sports Illustrated models praying 5 times a day to Allah, I don't want them there. I don't want to look at them. I don't want to hear them. And they're white blondes and bikinis. This is where the point gets missed purposely. The number one way for the Islamic doctrine to find its way into this country is to convince you, to convince your neighbor, to convince the media that you are racist, that you're racist, that you don't want to accept other people, that you don't want to accept anything other than white. And that's just not true. Not true at all. It doesn't make any sense. But they know that we're always going to be on our heels apologizing and defending. One of the worst things I've hated to hear over the course of time. I used to do this early on. I don't do it anymore. Somebody comes up to you and says, Ryan says to me, Dad, you're a racist. No, I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm a racist. I was a consultant for Dr. Ben Carson. He's black. Dennis, you're a racist. I'm not a racist. What are you talking about? One of my best buddies was Latino. I'm not a racist. What are you talking about? Number one guy on my softball team I ran a softball team with was Filipino. What people do is they try to justify by saying, I have a friend, I have a relative, I have a coworker who I really like, who just so happens not to be white. Don't get into that. Don't do that. Don't fall for that trap. That's the trap that they try to give you. You just say, no, I'm not a racist. You're a racist. You're a racist for thinking that I think color. But if you're going to push color on me, it's the same thing as a fight. I don't want to fight anybody. I just want to get up in the morning. I want to do my thing, want to do my show, want to love my family, want to love my neighbors, play golf, dust the cap on my head. That's all I want to do. I don't want to fight anybody. But if you come up to me and you tell me you're going to crack me in the mouth, you're probably going to hit the ground faster than you can finish the sentence. If you force me into a fight, there is going to be a wrath upon you. Same thing happens here. If you want to push your religion, if you want to push your racist stuff onto me, I'm going to come back at you. I'm going to tell you why your religion's no good, why it's not acceptable here, and I am going to say I love being white. I love being white. I have no problem with it. I don't see anything at all wrong with being white. I like being white, and I want to be white. And if you're black, I would assume you say, I like being black. I want to be black. You should be proud of who you are. I am not going to be apologetic. Ever. Which, I mean, I could do a whole show on something else here, and we will get to this one of these days. I think one of the hugest problems we have in the country is that blacks will get away with saying the N-word, but if the white person says it, it's the end of everything. Well, that's a double standard, and that's why there's a problem, in my opinion. But make no mistake, they're starting to understand how it is that they get the power. And the power comes when it is that you are the politicians who have the power. And so now there is a woman who is officially going to run for governor of Georgia. And here is she.
My first job out of college was at the Center for Civil and Human Rights, where I got to learn how to organize with incredible legends like the late John Lewis. Now I have the honor of representing tens of thousands of Georgians in the State House. I'm as Georgia as we come. I'm also the granddaughter of Palestinian refugees. My family lost everything and had to rebuild from nothing. My family's history and the skills taught to me by civil rights heroes made me never back down from a fight.
Yep. Eventually, you will see, and I'm not kidding, you will see Georgia, Texas, Michigan. These will be the first governors who are wearing hijabs or who are extremely 100% radical Islam. It's going to happen. It can stop from happening. We can save this country, and I have great hope that this will happen if we can just stop the spigot of taking in so many people legally into this country. That has to be the case. There's another person running for office. This person's not Muslim. This person is well, I don't know what you would consider this, Ryan. Is this a transformer? It's a transformer. This person now is running as a Democrat in the state of California. Play it.
Ace needs to get the out of California. My name is Maybe. I'm running for state senate in the heart of Los Angeles and East LA, and I will fight for human rights in the state legislature. I've been working with people experiencing homelessness for over a decade, volunteering at shelters, being the homelessness liaison for the neighborhood council, and now being the operations manager for the Neighborhood Homeless Coalition. I'm fighting to make California affordable, safe, and inclusive for all. Tuition-free college, healthcare for all, housing for all, renters' rights. We can have all of these things. We deserve all of these things. We're going up against some powerful special interest groups in this race, including the landlord lobby, fossil fuel companies, and even the leaders of AIPAC. This campaign only takes money from individuals, the people that we are going to be elected to represent, not foreign interest groups, not lobbyists, not corporate, anything. California has never had a trans or non-binary legislator, and that is far past time to change. Please donate to this campaign for human rights, justice, and equity today. Let's keep fascism out of California together.
Let's keep fascism out of California. Now, here's the crazy part. This, whatever that person is going to have a legitimate shot. There is going to be people who are going to want to support that. That is how bizarre and bonkers the left and these blue states have become. Whether it's handing out driver's licenses with no name on it to illegal aliens, giving health care to illegal aliens, or voting for somebody like that, this is where the country has gone in many, many blue states. The hope is, and there is hope, you can never, ever, ever let go of hope, although hope is never a plan. But if Trump keeps doing what he's doing, improving the economy, cutting down on crime, sending the National Guard into cities that need the National Guard there, if he continues on this path and does not step off the gas, which I don't think he will, America is going to love it. I remind you of what happened with Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, he won, his first run, but his second run, after 4 years of doing great, he took every single state but one. And I think what winds up happening in this situation, this is something promising to look forward to. It really is. It's why it's so important that you always participate. Like I say, hitting the share button. If you haven't hit the share button yet on this show, you got to do it. It's why it is so damn important that you play your role. Like what I said earlier today about we're going to cut a clip and explain why it is that the Democrats really own the shutdown from a healthcare perspective. It is so important that you share, because the more people are informed, the more they get turned off to the Democrats. There are always going to be the radical states. I don't think we're going to be able to flip Oregon or the state of Washington or California for quite some time. But we could get more of these states. We could get Pennsylvania back, right? Wouldn't that be nice? We could get Arizona back. We could get a lot of states back. And slowly but surely, we could get this entire country to go back into a full-blown conservative Judeo-Christian country. Now, being said, I got two more videos for you. One of them is going to blow you away. I'm going to save it for the end. But we do a segment here every show, which is called The Crazy Left. And we pick out a video that we believe represents the left better than any other video for that day. This is a video that has made a circulation around this week. It is pathetic. I warn you in advance, it's going to make you upset. It's a Mexican man in Houston, and he has a display. And that display, for people in audio, shows white man, white woman, looks like maybe if you could imagine a married couple wearing red hats for MAGA, being hung with their coffins underneath them. And this is obviously decorations for Halloween, but it's a message. It's a message. Take a listen.
Or the Second Ward, as it's known, has gone viral for its Halloween decorations. A man and a woman are wearing red hats, black shirts, khaki pants, and have zip ties in their pockets. There's also two Mexican flags and a third person wearing a colorful poncho.
With everything going on in our community, with all the problems our community's having, it just seems politically right.
And your decoration has gone viral on social media. You said you saw it on Instagram as well. What was your reaction to just seeing this go viral on the internet?
I was surprised that many people actually liked it. I mean, the comments that I was reading, that wasn't really negative.
We back? All right. So if that doesn't piss you off, I'm going to give you another one that is. I'm going to bring something up here. I want to see, before I go telling you something here, I want to make sure I'm not wrong. So give me a second. I just want to take a look. Bear with me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You see, I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I'll give you a bigger shot of it. Here it is. On the screen right there, you'll see there's an African-American gentleman. All right. Let me read this to you right now. This is outrage. National outrage is breaking out after Indianapolis man Courtney Bowes was just charged with attempted murder and battery on an officer after having nearly 100 prior arrests. 100 prior arrests. He faces 9 charges, and he was taken into custody following the stabbing of the man at a gas station, who is now in critical condition. Now, another report of this reads similar, but a little bit different and even more egregious. Man arrested for attempted murder in Indiana has nearly 100 prior arrests. Courtney Bowes was arrested after he allegedly stabbed a 69-year-old man at a gas station. So in one thing, we have an officer. Another one, it's a 69-year-old man. Who knows? Maybe the 69-year-old man is a retired officer. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough yesterday, but I will today. Bowes reportedly has 99 prior arrests, 99 arrests with charges including trespass, drug crimes, theft, battery, and bodily injury. Here is the crazy part. Records show this career criminal has apparently never been to prison. Never been to prison, this guy. Never been to prison. 99 times. This guy has been arrested 99 times. Never sent to prison. You tell me. You tell me how the Democrats hold on to anything. One of the things we talk a lot about on this program, or we had when I was going full time, and we will pick back up on it, is AI. AI, and we're going to close the show on this, and there's a video that you have to watch because this is going to blow your mind. AI is as dangerous as it is exciting. It's dangerous from the standpoint that, well, actually, let me change it the other way. It is exciting in the sense that I do believe AI is going to be able, from a health perspective, to make life expectancy far greater than it is. Right now, I think in the United States, life expectancy for a gentleman is 78, and for a woman, I think it's 82. Do not be surprised if AI does not, in the short term, help lift that up into the 80s and 90s. Do not be surprised if in the next 10 years, AI somehow, some way, figures out how it is that we do the reverse aging on our cells. It would be fantastic. At the same time, even though AI is going to have incredible positive impacts on various different aspects of our life, it is going to be horrific in other areas. First of all, I think one of the things that happens is that our brains will start to mush. You know, there is, think about this. There used to be a time when you were in your car and you would say, all right, listen, we're going to Jacksonville. You know, I'd say to Mary, we're going to Mayo Clinic. All right, how we get there? All right, well, get out the map. And you sat there with the map and you drew it out and you kind of read the map and you had to use your head. Now you speak into your cell phone and say, Mayo Clinic, Jacksonville, Florida. 3 hours. Proceed north on Route 72. Make a right on I-95 and take it for 120 miles. Make a left at the next light. You're not even thinking anymore. And I understand in many different ways that has simplified our life, but it has also watered down our brain. There's no doubt that that's going to be the case. Worse than that, and maybe the most horrifying part of this, notwithstanding how AI is used for war and nuclear and all that other different stuff, which we're going to be talking a lot about in the months to come. But you are going to get to the point of where you're not going to know what is fake and what is real. Now, AI videos I just showed you. I showed you an AI video of JD Vance being poked fun at. I showed you a video of Hakeem Jeffries with AI. But now I'm going to show you what is now just been released from OpenAI, which is the makers of ChatGPT. And you are going to be blown away by what happens here. Now, keep in mind, at the beginning of the video, it's for people on audio and even people watching, the print is so small, it's hard to determine. I will tell you that I think the video says everything that you're about to watch and hear was AI generated. So from the start of this video to the end of this video, not one bit of it is real. It is all AI generated. Play it.
1 year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Now every video comes with sound.
Sora 2 is also the state-of-the-art for motion, physics IQ, and body mechanics, marking a giant leap forward in realism.
And we're introducing Cameo, giving you the power to step into any world or scene and letting your friends cast you in theirs.
On the path to AGI, the gains aren't just about productivity. It's about creating new possibilities.
It's also about creativity and joy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's why we're launching Sora 2 inside the Sora app, allowing everyone to push the limits of their imagination and create in ways we never thought possible.
You know, one of the posts we made here on Facebook the other day was showing that I think Ryan did the post. There's a new actress in Hollywood. She's AI, and she's selling products, and she's actually getting booked. Ad agencies are booking an AI. Now, some of what you just watched there is cool and cute and, you know, looks like we could do a lot of fun, creative stuff. When that starts getting used for political and fake messaging, we're in trouble. Nobody will be able to believe anything anymore. So I wanted to use this time to tell you about something that we're doing here. And it gives you a little bit of an outline of where things are going. And this is, if you're a Team DML member, you're going to want to hear this. And if you're not a Team DML member yet, you're going to want to become one. And I'll explain why. But first, before I do that, before I end the show on that, I want to remind everybody about this book. I got this book. So this book is really cool. It's got the old pages. And what I do is after every show, I write my notes down. I'm journaling about our show. And we want to make our show, our podcast here, the best that there is. I want to be number one, not for ego standpoint, but because I want to be able to say that I have the most informative show there is. And as we start adding guests sometimes as well, I want everybody to say, if you want to learn, you want to listen to the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast. If you want to be entertained, if you want to see things that other people won't show you, you want to be with DML. So one of the ways I'm doing with this is that I make my notes. My son bought me this book. It's got this old cool paper. And so I make my notes about what I thought of the show, what I covered, what I could have done better. And then what I do is I read every comment that you leave on the show. So there will be 1,000 comments when this is all done. I will read every single one of the comments. And because I want to hear what you're saying. I want to hear what it is. I ask people, should we have an hour show? Should we have an hour and a half show? Should it be 5 days a week? Should it be 2 days a week? And so I'm getting this back. And I'd really, one of the things I'd love for you to leave a message on today is, where are you when you listen to this show? You know, if you're on Facebook and you're on Team DML or you're on Rumble, leave a message and say, hey, I watch you while I'm doing this, or I watch you on my TV. I watch you on my laptop. These things help us because it helps us recognize how we can make the show better. If you are listening to us on audio, the email address that we use for this kind of stuff is wetrustdml dml@gmail.com. Send me a email and say, I listened to you when I'm driving to work. I listened to you a day after the show is up. I listened to you while I'm walking. I listened to you. Let us know where you are and how it is that you're listening and watching us. It's going to help us improve the show in multiple different ways, and I won't go down those ways to bore you. But the other thing, too, is that when you leave comments, I want you to know that we respect the amount of time that you're taking to leave that comment, and I do read them all. Later in the day, I'll go for my walk, and I will listen to the show, and I'll go back, and I will, and I listen to the show to see where I've done well and where I've done poorly, where I've gone too long or I should have gone a little bit longer on anything. And then I read your comments. And so I take my favorite comment, the one that I think represents the show for that day the most, and I put down the person's name, and my thing is that I'm going to give you your acknowledgement on the next show. So I had a comment here on Monday's show, and it was from an Alicia Carlson Averson. And she said, we used to be called the melting pot of the world, where we took the best of each culture. We are now ashamed of our own country. We are changing our country to accept their ways. And I thought that that was a sensational comment. So make sure you leave your comment, and you never know, you could be the person next who gets read, and that's that. I appreciate you in a big way. I want to let you know something that we're doing, and it's pretty exciting stuff. Twofold. Number one, for those of you who have been with me for a while, you know that over the past few years, I had incredibly bad stomach issues, and I took a beating. I've had over 150 tests, MRIs, CT scans, ultrasounds, many of these at the same time, the same thing over and over and over, blood tests, you name it. I have spent more money and more time on this. And finally, I met a gentleman named Dr. Colin Buck. And Dr. Colin Buck helped me without pills, without tests, just using food to rid of all of that. Constipation gone, cramps gone, pains gone, ulcers gone, everything gone. No meds, no nothing. And so he and I had lunch going back in June, and we decided that we were going to write a book. The book is going to be a combination of recipes, teaching you how it is to cook and prepare what it is that I was eating and what he gives other people to fix the same thing. It tells you how to buy your food, where to buy your food, what to look for, what not to look for. It tells you about my story in great detail and how I got out of it and what my routine is. And you also learn something about Dr. Buck. It is a great book. We've been putting it together. As soon as I'm done here, Ashley comes in. We're formatting it. We're finally finished with it tomorrow. And I believe it will be ready for purchase. And I'm going to price it really cheap because for me, I just want to cover the costs and give something to Colin Buck for his time. But I want to help people. And I want to really help you. If you're having stomach problems, I want you to at least have the story and the strategy that Buck has given to many different people and fixed them. And some of these people I know, and myself, in terms of the gut, because there's nothing worse than having gut issues. And they're, in many cases, not all cases, but in many cases, easily fixed without drugs. That's coming in the next couple of weeks. What's also coming, and I could get back to it right after Friday, because after I do the show and I do my stuff all day long is on this book. Once that's done, I'm hoping it's going to be by the end of November. There is going to be a brand new DML news app. Brand new. And the one we have now is old, it's antiquated, works, but isn't with the times. We have a brand new app that I have designed and I keep on designing that is going to be so much better than what we have now. It is also going to be focused on always helping you with AI. I won't go deep into that now, but we are going to be combining Team DML and the DML News app into one thing. And it's going to be amazing. I will give more on that as we go. But I want to just say something to the Team DML members who have been with me, because September is usually our biggest month for renewals every year. And October is as well, July, June. And we have people renew. It's an annual thing. There are people who are sticking with me. They've stuck with me for the last 8 months as I've gone through hell with my wife. And we haven't been able to do the show 5 days a week because of the things I had to deal with my wife. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to retire. People stuck with me. Yes, there are some people who dropped off Team DML. They canceled their memberships. They left. There are other people who stayed with me. And I will tell you, there are thousands of these people. I will not forget any single one of you. So when this new app comes out and we do the whole combination of bringing it all together, you people who are Team DML right now, you will get an extra something special from me. I'll leave it at that. So I want to really say here at the closing, thank you so much. I have the greatest audience, the greatest supporters anywhere. I've been doing this for a long time, and people write things. I have been with you for 15 years. Think about that, following somebody for 15 years, 12 years, 10 years, and I appreciate it. I can't express. If you were in front of me, I'd give you a hug and a kiss right now, and I appreciate it in a big way. So we are all geared up here. We want to be, I want to be louder than Tucker and Megan and all these other different people. I think we have the best product. I can't get it out there without you. We are starting today. I've never done this before. I am going to be throwing my own personal money into ads here on Facebook. You're going to see them. I ask you, please, tell everybody about us. Share our page. If there are posts, either click the like button, put a little message in, or hit the share button. When you do that, you help us with Facebook reach more people. So please help me help you. And that's that. Until the next time, God willing, for this show, Monday, make sure you have yourself a phenomenal Friday and weekend. Again, I want to say happy birthday to my son, Denny. And I am always on Facebook throughout the day, little quick Facebook Lives, little short videos, the Reels, all the other different stuff. So although I won't be always live with you, you'll be seeing me. I'm here working hard. I got my family with me. I'm the luckiest man in the world. Thanks so much. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump and JD Vance. God bless your family. And happy birthday, Denny. We'll talk to you soon.
Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML.